The Keenz XC Plus is actually the first Keenz we have ever bought. So exciting. And it's a 4-seater wagon that can carry up to 55 pounds per seat and 326 pounds for the wagon overall. This is considered their luxury comfort stroller wagon, and I can see why. It has a lot of bells and whistles, fancy things on it. Comes standard with a snack tray, these huge all-terrain tires. It's got the works. Although our box was destroyed during shipping, the wagon comes very well packed, everything was very secure, and nothing was damaged upon arrival. After getting everything unpacked, the first thing that we're going to show you is how to open up this carriage of the XC Plus. Now, it has these strange clips that I've never seen on any other stroller wagon. I've heard that these are the older style clips on the XC, but that they have not been changed for the XC Plus potentially, so I'm not sure, but it's just a different kind of clip. It's metal, and the little pieces to push in are pretty small. After opening the wagon, we're going to show you how to put the back axle on. Those are the huge tires that you saw in the opening portion, and we attach the tires to the back axle after that. Now for us, the very first side that we put on for this back axle was trickier than the second. The second was super easy. You're going to put it on, there's that little silver peg that it has to push in, and then it automatically releases when it engages a hole that's on the back axle. So it might take a little bit of aligning, but once you get it in there, it's pretty easy. And then the second part, you're going to obviously make sure that it's lined up with that tube, and it slides right on. Attaching the tires couldn't be easier. You just line up that silver peg with the hole that's on the back axle and they slide right in. You don't have to push a button, pull a lever, nothing like that. They just pop right on. You will have the added benefit of being able to see the hole when you're attaching yours, hopefully, because I was on the other side. I had a little trouble, but they are super easy. Now onto the front smaller tires. It's pretty much the same thing. I mean, the angle is different because they don't attach on the sides, but it's also very simple. Nothing special to do here, nothing to pull or push. You are just inserting that peg into the hole that's on the bottom of the frame rather than on the side. I did find that these tires and the buttons to release them are a little sticky sometimes, so just make sure that it's really on there. You hear that click and give it a tug just to make sure it's securely in place. These side flap pouch pocket things on the Keenz are held in place at the top by 2 Velcro patches. One of ours ripped off fairly quickly with minimal use, so I don't know if they're that strong. A quick note on the front tires, it is super cool and special that they actually lock. So many stroller wagons completely miss this feature, and I really love it. It helps with going across different terrains, so that's something to notice right away coming out of the box. Something we did also notice is that the buttons to release these, they tend to stick, like they just hold themselves compressed even after you let them go. So if a kid presses it, or if you accidentally press it and then you lift it out of your car, the tire could just fall off. So just be aware, make sure all of your tires are in place when you're getting strolling, because that could happen easily and by accident. It would be a total nightmare to have your tire fall off going over a curb, for example. We're now going to show you how to put the bench seats into the XC Plus. Now, looking at the back of these seats, it's pretty intimidating. We've never had a 4-seater that has this many things hanging off the back of the bench. However, we're going to walk you through this so it's not so intimidating. You're going to start with that main strap in the center. There are strategic points in which you are meant to weave these straps through the fabric of the stroller. So you can see here that bottom clip is going to go, this is the female end, is going to go through the fabric of the carriage there, and then the male end will go through this basket fabric, or a pouch, or whatever this is. At the top, you weave it through, and then they connect underneath this flap envelope thing. It may or may not help to have a second set of hands to help lift that pouch thing up to clear the way so that you can connect those two. Now, once you're done with that, you're going to get the clips that are around the outside of the bench seat. So they are very strong, almost hard to put on if you have weak hands like I do, but there's 2 on each side of the bench seat and then 2 off of the back as well, 1 on each side of that strap that we just demonstrated for you. You repeat the process of installation for the other bench seat, however it's a little easier because you don't have that flap thing hanging in the way this time. This is a close-up of the Velcro on our snack tray. Part of it is not sewn correctly or something like that, but this is the snack tray that's included with the wagon. I'm not sure about this cup holder design. It's not really doing it for me, but other than that, it's a very strong snack tray. The clips are kind of hard to get on there. If you have weak hands like I do, I will emphasize. Those 2 clips that I'm tapping on either side are the clips to secure the snack tray, so you have to kind of stretch them to get them on either side. As I mentioned, the XC Plus has a ton of bells and whistles included. This is one of them. These toggles, you can release them and they will let down kind of this wind cover that covers up the fabric of the carriage. So it covers up that mesh. So if it's windy, if it's raining, if it's, whatever the weather condition and you want to keep it out, these little magnets are going to hold it down and protect your kids on the inside of that wagon. I love that this is built in. I love that it's included. This really is a luxury design implement there on the XC Plus. Here we're going to show you a little bit about the canopy. You pull on this lever and it will release those canopy poles. They are locked into place when they are down, and they are locked into place when they are fully up. So I'm pretty impressed with that function. It's definitely a much more user-friendly, quick and easy version than the Family's iteration of this style of canopy, so very pleased with that. From this point, you can grab the canopy once you're done putting up all 4 of the poles, and there are these plastic kind of bracket-like things you slip onto the top of these canopy poles that will hold it in place. It's very simple to insert. You can see them right there. So you just slip those on to all 4 poles. And then what we had to do was kind of adjust the fabric because it's very taut. And the poles were even bending in a little bit on us because it was so taut to keep that canopy in place. We also had this issue where the fabric of this, around this bracket, was slipped down. So it was really, really hard to slide it back up due to how taut this material is. Once you get that canopy on though, then you're just adjusting, making sure that it's on there nice and tight for when you get strolling. Now there are a lot of bells and whistles built into this canopy as well. One of those features is going to be this magnet that's built in on the center of each end of the wagon. So if you do catch some wind or something, it's not just going to puff up on you. They also have these zippers that are on each side. So you can roll this fabric and, open up this kind of a skylight sort of thing for your canopy. Now, this is a super tall canopy. We've never had a stroller wagon quite as tall as this. So if you're on the shorter side, yes, there is an adjustable handlebar, but just note that that canopy is going to be kind of like a canopy for you. It's going to be above your head too if you're pretty short. So be aware of how tall this is. We're going to have measurements in our comparison video that's coming up next, so you can see just how tall it is from canopy to the ground. Now we're going to go on the underside here and show you a little bit about these panels that roll down on the long sides. You can undo the toggles, and built in here you have more coverage. So you have 2 panels that are rolled up right now in here. You release these toggles to let them down, and there are attachment points down there on the stroller wagon to make sure that they stay in place. You can choose to either have kind of a full coverage option that covers both of those long sides. You can see here the double panel is down. Now I'm going to show you how to apply this, like where to position it on the stroller the way that it says in the instruction manual. And you can see kind of how it's not as taut, perhaps not the best placement in my opinion. Oh, little technical difficulty. There we go, that's better. So we're going to pull this panel down here, and you can see how the instruction manual would refer you to do it, where they would have you attach it. Now you can see on the back, we've already done it our way over there because we just found that we preferred that. I wanted to test it out a little bit before we filmed for you. But you can see here, I'm going to open up this Velcro. It's on the bottom corners on each side. It's so simple. You just open it up, you wrap it around the part of the frame. Now, it tells you to attach it in the instruction manual above this plastic bracket that holds the poles together. So I'm going to go ahead and do that on the other side for you as well. And you can just see how, obviously, it looks wrinkled because it's rolled up. That's just going to happen with the fabric. But when it's loose like this, because of this placement, I don't think it really helps. It only emphasizes the wrinkles, in my opinion. But I'm going to go ahead and flip the wagon around for you so you can see the difference. Now, for some people, this won't matter at all, and I completely understand that. For some people, aesthetically, this will matter, and they will care about this. So we just like to include our hacks and our tips for you. The attachment on this part, when you go under the bracket, is definitely more taut. It's going to hold it in place better. It's not going to let as much wind escape, around the bottom of that side panel there. You can lift up that top blackout panel, and you can actually roll this up separately. If you just want to leave them kind of like this window, but you want to roll up the blackout part, they can still have visibility, have a little more sun protection. I think that's a really cool and thoughtful design, feature that they put here on the XC Plus. A little hack if you don't want these metal clips banging around on your metal poles when you're walking around is just clip them together, keeps them neat and tidy, out of the way, and not clanging. Our first initial thoughts on the Keenz XC Plus while using it for the first time out of the box is that it's totally different, and we cannot wait to share our thoughts when we do a review on this. Everything from the storage, the canopy, the tires is so different than any other four-seater that we've used before, so we hope that you'll tune in for the comparison to the Family Z and the W4 that we're going to be doing soon, and we'll review this one also on its own individually. We hope that this has been helpful for you. If you have any questions or thoughts, please leave them down below, and we're happy to help as much as we can. If you're watching this before December 31st of 2022, please go to our Instagram to join a giveaway for a $50 gift card to albebaby.com. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye!
What are you doing, Mama? She can't wait to get in her first Keenz. She has to claim it before her brothers.